As we have spent enough time in understanding some of the basics with respect to Python collections such as list, set, tuple, and dict, now it is time for us to understand real-world usage of these collections. Let us see an example related to list of tuples in this topic, and then we'll talk about list of dicts as part of the next topic. Make sure that you follow this material closely so that you understand the real-world usage of these important collections. That being said, when we read data from a file into a list, typically each element in the list will be of type binary or string. If you want to process each element as strings or binaries, it will be a bit complicated. If we can convert them into tuple, it will actually simplify the processing. Once each element is converted to tuple, we can access elements in the tuple using positional notation. To understand what I'm talking about, let's see an example to read the data from a file into list of tuples and access the dates. So we will read the data from the file. The first data structure will be a list of strings where we'll have orders dataset, and then from that we will extract the dates and we'll create a list of dates. Let's go through it, you will understand. First, I'm validating the path. So in this case, the underlying operating system is Ubuntu, and hence I can run this cell with sh magic, and I should be able to review the files and the contents of the files using Linux based commands. If you are using Windows based environment, these are not possible, or it might be tricky to get this information directly off of the Jupyter based environment. You can open the file and you can understand how the data look like. Also, if you do not have this dataset, reach out to us. We will help you to get the information from where you can actually clone this repository and start using this dataset directly. Now, if I run this tail command, which is nothing but a Linux command, you can see the output. The data is comma separated. Each record have 4 attributes with comma as the delimiter or separator. The first one is ID, second one is date, and then third and fourth are some other elements. So in this case, we are just interested in extracting these dates. Now let's get into the details about how to read this file, create a list of strings, then convert into list of tuples, extract the dates, and finally we'll be having the list of dates. I am creating a variable called as path of type string, passing the path of the file. If you are using Windows, this is how you should be passing the path of the file. Let's assume that it is under users, itversity, research data, retail DB, orders, part hyphen 5 zeros. This is how you should be passing the path if you are running against your Windows environment. Then I'm actually using a function called as open, which is part of Python core library. It will create a special type of object. Let's see the type of object by running type on orders underscore file. You can see that it is of type text IO wrapper, which comes from underscore IO library. Now, using this object, we should be able to invoke a function called as read. By default, it will read the entire content of the file into the memory in the form of a string. Now I can run this, and I should be able to run this to get the type. The type of orders underscore raw is nothing but string. It's a big string which contains everything from the file. However, if the file is too big, you might run into out of memory issues if you read the entire file like this. We typically break into pieces and read the contents of the file. Don't worry too much about getting data from the large file using core libraries. We will not be using this approach. We will use much more sophisticated libraries, and you will understand at a later point in time. For now, just to focus on list of tuples, I am just using this simple function called as read on text.io wrapper object to actually read the contents of the file into the memory in the form of a string. Now I can say orders underscore raw, which is of type string, dot split lines. So there is a function called as split lines on top of string. If you want to get the help, you just say str of or dot split lines like this, and you can get the help. It will just convert a big string into list of strings using new line character as the delimiter. Now I can run this. I can validate the type of orders. It is of type list. As it is list, to preview the data, now I should be able to say orders of column 10. It will get us first 10 records. You can see here. These are the first 10 elements in this list. If you try to use this column 10 on orders underscore raw, as the string is also nothing but a list of characters, you will see first 10 characters. So in this case, before applying split lines, let's say I actually say orders underscore raw of column 10 and run it. You can see that we got first 10 characters because a string is nothing but list of characters. However, we splitted that big string using split lines, it have returned a list. This list is of type strings, and these are the first 10 elements in this list of strings. You can also get the length by running this. We have 68,883 records. Now I have created order with one record from this list of strings. You can also say order of orders of 0. Sorry, not order of orders of 0, but order equal to orders of 0 to create an object with name order, which is the first element from the list. And this is how it will look like. I have created the object. Now, if you want to get what you have in the object, you can just say order and run this, and it have returned this. You can also say order equal to orders of 0. Even then, it will act same. Now, using this string, as we have split function, I can say split of comma, and this will be converted to a list. You can see here. So this is converted to list of strings, and we have one as the first element, date as the second element, 11,599 as the third element, and closed as the fourth element. Now to access these elements, even though we can use list of lists, but list is supposed to be a collection of records, which is similar to a table or Excel spreadsheet. The more appropriate data structure is tuple. We don't use list of lists that often. Rather, we prefer to use list of tuples because tuples are supposed to be used for individual records and list is supposed to be used for group of records. So the formal way of representing this is list of tuples, not list of lists, even though it is possible to represent as list of lists. Now, we should be able to convert this individual record which is converted to list because of the split function using comma delimiter to tuple by using either tuple constructor like this. So we can typecast list to a tuple or tuple to a list using the corresponding constructors. In this case, now the output is of type tuple. There is also a special operator. Instead of saying tuple of, you can just pass everything in circle brackets like this, have a star at the beginning and comma at the end. This will also take care of converting the list into a tuple. Even this one will return tuple. Now we can use this approach of iterating through the elements in orders and applying this operator or tuple constructor on order.split, and we should be able to get the list of tuples. So I can either run this or run this. Now it will become list of tuples. Order tuples is still of type list. You can say type of order underscore tuples. It will return a list as output. To access first element, you can say order underscore tuples of 0. To get first three elements, you can use this approach. You can see the first three elements. Each element is of type tuple. You can also get len of order underscore tuples or length of order underscore tuples. It is nothing but 68,883. If you want to get date part from these tuples, we can just say order of 1 for order in order tuples. It will give us the dates. You can get the dates like this. You can also get length of dates. You can see it is 68,883. Also, while processing, if you wanted to typecast the data to its original type, here I have defined a function to do so. So I'm passing order to it, splitting it, and then typecasting and returning them as tuple. Now, if you actually look at this new list of order tuples, you can see that even the data type of order ID and this value is typecasted or converted to integers because they are supposed to be of type integers, and we have used int constructor here on those two elements, and hence now the data is transformed from a list of strings to list of tuples with appropriate data types. Now I can actually use this approach to get the customer IDs. You can also run this to get the customer IDs. You can also validate the individual customer ID type by using type function. Now to reiterate whatever we have done so far, as per the problem statement, to get the dates from our file, let me go through those important steps and conclude this topic. So in this case, first we have read the data from the file. For that, we have created a variable by name path and then passed that path to open function, created this orders underscore file object. Then using that orders underscore file object, we have invoked this read function. So the read function will take care of reading the contents of the file into the memory as a string. Then we have split lines function. So we have used split lines function on orders underscore raw to convert this big string into list of strings where each string is nothing but the record in the file. Then we have used this approach of extracting the strings into tuples or converting the strings into tuples. For that, we can actually use this piece of code. This is what we can use. Either we can copy this one or this one. Let me copy this one and paste it here. This will take care of converting each and every string within our list to tuple, and the tuple will contain 4 elements. Then we should be able to extract the dates using this approach. Now order underscore dates will have the dates we are looking for. So using these 6 lines of code, we are able to read the contents from the file into a list of dates. Let me run this, and now order underscore dates will contain the dates we are looking for. Now, if you wanted to get only the unique dates, what you can do, you just have to say set of order underscore dates. It will eliminate all the duplicates and it will only see the unique dates. If you want, you can actually assign it to a variable by saying unique underscore dates equal to, and then you can actually say len of unique underscore dates to get the number of elements in this set. We have 364 of them. This is how we should be able to streamline our data processing using the knowledge which we have gained by going through the core data structures such as list, set, dict, and tuple. As we have seen example with respect to list of tuples, now it's time for us to explore list of dicts and the common usage pattern with respect to data structures while reading the data from the files or databases into the Python collections.